everybody. Rabbi Bill Hamilton here. Here's my July 22nd conversation with New York Times best-selling author Larry Tye on his important new book, Demagogue, The Life and Long Shadow of Senator Joe McCarthy. Let's get right into this very interesting book about one could argue is a villain, not a hero.
It's February 9th, 1950. Joe McCarthy is a backbench senator that nobody's heard of and that looks like he is set up for perfect defeat when he runs for re-election a couple years from then. And the idea that the press could so easily be made into a megaphone or a mouthpiece for a bully like Joe McCarthy is painful to revisit, and yet we have to understand it so we don't repeat it. My book has a one-word title, Demagogue, because while it is a biography of Joe McCarthy, it is also a biography of demagoguery in America. And I think that anybody who writes a biography of anyone, you should always ask before you buy that book, what are the two stories it's telling? Because they're always using one person's life as a lens into a bigger issue or theme. He went off and fought in World War II in the South Pacific, and his official assignment was as a land-based intelligence officer with the US Marines, telling the pilots what to look for when they went up on their flights. And Joe McCarthy came back and in his first race for Senate called himself Tail Gunner Joe. And that became a caricature. NBC did an hour-long documentary mocking him called Tail Gunner Joe. One of the reasons I wrote this book was because there was only one person of the 450 people I interviewed for the Bobby Kennedy bio who was irreplaceable, and that was a woman named Ethel Kennedy. And Ethel Kennedy said in a line that I will never did forget, that Joe McCarthy might have been a monster to much of America, but to Bobby and Ethel, he was just plain good fun. Joe McCarthy was somebody who was charming enough and who had a charismatic side to him, which is how he won overwhelming election twice in Wisconsin and how he became such a popular figure, that he was a huge character. Joe McCarthy had a way of pointing fingers at blocks of people who had nothing to do with the whole communist issue. If you were from the East Coast, you were suspect. If you read certain publications like the New York Times, you would have been suspect.
I want to thank everybody so very, very much for being with us. A special thank you to Larry Tye. Very, very special evening. Lots of lessons for us to take to heart, take personally, take collectively as a country. And we want to wish everybody a safe and good night. Thank you again, Larry.
Thank you, Bill.